We're all plugged in and ready to go.
Let's go. Ready to rock right here. We are live from Hialeah Park. We got a loaded program for you. We're coming to you live from the Champions Simulcast Center, and this will be the site on Sunday. We've already got several people here, but it's going to be crazy on Sunday because, of course, it's the Handicappers Challenge. It's the qualifier for the National Horse Players Championship, and that'll be on Sunday.
Frank was telling me major handicappers from around the country are flying in for this tomorrow.
Of course. They got a shot to get a seat in Vegas.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, like the 5,000 for them is like just icing on the cake if they win first place. It's that seat in the NHC. That's what they want, dude.
It's the same idea as
you can't buy that seat.
Steve has been saying, the Texas Hold'em poker tournaments and the $1 million. This is the bridge to get me where I want to go.
Right, exactly. That's what it's all about. Anyway, so we're out here. We'll be plunging our guts like we're doing now every Friday out here at Hialeah Park. You guys should come on out here and join us on Fridays, 1 to 4, and especially those of you that know a little something about, the horsies.
Help a guy out.
Help guys out here. Help both of us out here a little bit. So, yeah, we need all the help that we can get. So if it is possible, you want to come on out here and join us, you'll have. I guarantee you, you're going to have fun. All right, because you got great food, great atmosphere out here. They were just going nuts right now for the last race. So we'll have a little fun with that. Yeah, every once in a while, you'll hear the crowd go crazy and everybody, and that's because the race is on. We're about a minute from post time at Gulfstream now for the second race. So we'll find out. We've got Laurel Park right now. We've got Aqueduct, and we've got Tampa Bay Downs. Those are the ones we're watching right here in front of us right now. Anyway, so we got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of people to talk to. We'll talk some Heat basketball at 1:30 with Andre Fernandez from The Athletic. At 2 o'clock, Calvin Watkins is going to join us from the Dallas Morning News, my buddy who covers the Cowboys. Since the Cowboys made some news, what's it called? You worried or something?
I'm just saying thank you for informing me while we're on the air that we're getting Andre Fernandez.
Well, that's because you don't check your you don't check your text. That's why. It's been there on your phone.
You know, I've been scrambling to get this all set up.
You got to check your phone, bro. Calvin Watkins is at 2. And then Will Carroll, the injury expert, always joins us at 2:30. We'll go over some of the important injuries like the Thielen one for the playoffs. Steve Calabro, the manager here at Hialeah Park, is going to join us. We're going to make our picks, our NFL picks, and our parlays, okay, which right now, so far since we've been doing this, the suggestion is don't even bother following our parlays. I mean, because one of us will screw it up one way or another. But anyway, and then, of course, we're going to have our Doll fan president. That will be, my friends, at 3:30. Ryan Keeling from the Valley Fanatics in Virginia, a man that has not shaven his beard and will not shave until the Dolphins win a Super Bowl. Let's hope that happens quickly. Pretty soon he'll be tripping up on his own beard, which that would be absolutely crazy. Hey, you should check out the article. It discusses the decline in college football attendance over the past 5 years. Main reason is the lack of competitive games. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's kind of where we're at. There are the haves and the have-nots. And it's hard to create an even level playing field in college. It just is. Mississippi Valley State is never, ever going to see the light of day to be where Alabama is. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Oregon State is never going to get to where Alabama's at. So, yeah, I can see where some of that would be, a problem. And listen, I think NFL attendance is down because the league has also gotten very mediocre. It's mediocre football that you watch week in and week out in the NFL. Really, there's only a few good teams. After that, it's a lot of average or bad football that's being played.
Yeah, but isn't that what they want? Oh, they want
Well,
even.
They wanted parity, but
Right.
they have achieved mediocrity. That's the problem.
So they went a little too far.
Exactly.
What do you think's the situation with college football? I mean, obviously, the smaller schools, and we remember Ben Roethlisberger, and obviously Carson.
What's Ben's name again?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger.
The motorcycle maniac.
Eric, what? What's the head coach's name for the Heat? Eric what?
Eric Spoelstra.
Oh, you got that one. Okay.
All right. Oh, you know what? You want to do that? Sally Saw 6 Cubs Singing Saturday? Listen, the fact that you don't have to be at the big school anymore to get known. All you got to do is just get on the field and play. Has that kind of hurt college football? That, kids are going to Marshall and Miami of Ohio and wherever they can get on the field their freshman year.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if that's hurt college football. Obviously, it's helped the player.
You don't have the depth you used to, obviously, at the bigger schools because they're not going to sit and wait till their junior year.
But then you would create even more of an unlevel playing field by that. Because then if Nebraska is going to be 6 deep again, and Oklahoma and all those schools like back in the day,
smearing it, kind of like spreading the butter on the bread.
It helped you create a little more parity in college football. But it's still not to the point that it's interesting enough for Joe Public.
Every year, the top 3 or 4 they are like so light years from the rest of the pack.
Yeah. It's
and
weird.
This year we were lucky to have 4. If Alabama doesn't have 2 go down, there was 4 real powers, obviously.
And think about where we're at right now. Okay, we're at a casino and obviously a horse track where you can also wager on tracks all across the country. And what I mean is betting. Imagine if you took betting out of football. You think you
wow.
You know how much you know how much that would kill it?
That's a hell of a thought.
That would shatter football. Okay?
What would you lose? 40, 50?
Yeah, easy.
40, 50% interest.
Yes, especially college.
Yeah.
Especially college. The NFL, you might get, more fans. But for college, I would say a lot of gamblers because, not to pick on Utah State or Akron or Liberty or FIU or my point is
Savannah State.
Yeah, people across the country are never watching those games, ever. But a lot of those people across the country are betting those games. That's the difference right there. They're actually betting those games.
Oh, those guys that are college, like they have all those little schools down to a science.
Right. You'll never watch Austin P football, but man, if they're playing against Arkansas Pine Bluff and you think the spread is a little out of control, you'll certainly bet it. That's the way it is. And I can believe where, the ratings are down. I can believe where attendance is down. Can you imagine if you took the gambling out of it? It would shatter it. Gamblers are the ones that are carrying sports a lot of times. Listen, everybody's going to watch Alabama LSU. You don't even need a bet for that one. But then there's a whole ton of other games that, man, they wouldn't have any interest if there wasn't a line on it. That's just the facts. And look, I'm a huge sports fan. I'm not the guy, like my dad, rest in peace. My dad was the guy that could not watch a sporting event if he didn't have $1 on it. I would tell him, hey, you want to watch? No, I didn't bet it. Seriously, that's how my dad was. And so that, to me, that's what carries a lot of sports is the gamblers. They're the ones that, like right now, who's carrying horse racing. Obviously, it's a gambling sport. If it's not, nobody's watching it. They're not watching it for fun.
You think about how far we've come in the last 8 years, where Vegas didn't want anything to do with any of the sports. There was
no, you mean the sports didn't want anything to do with
Vegas, right? Like, gambling, like it was like keep it
taboo.
Separate. Now
the relationship
kind of embracing it a little bit.
You better. It's it and pun intended. You better. You got to do that, man, because it's part of your existence. It's the reason why. It doesn't need to cross over, none of that, but it's definitely something that it's not just gambling, fantasy sports also, which is another form of gambling. However you want to phrase it, but it's still a form of gambling. But it's a fun way of gambling, but it's also a fun way of you being interested in the team or in the sport, because you wouldn't care about the Atlanta running back normally if you're a Dolphins fan, but you happen to have him on your fantasy team, so now you're going to watch that Falcons game just to see what that Atlanta running back does. So that a lot of interest in sports nowadays, it's not driven by the hardcore fan that is watching purely out of the love of the game. They're watching out of the love of the game they're playing at the moment, whether it's fantasy or that they've laid some money on it. And let me tell you something. Let me add a caveat to what's also helped sports. We're talking about technology, because now on your phone you can watch that Austin P game anywhere in the country. Whereas 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you had no shot at watching Bowling Green playing Akron in football. But now you can go on to a satellite, you can go on your phone, you can find that game because you have an interest in it, because you've made a sports investment in it. So don't kid yourself. The gamblers, man, they carry sports. They carry it. That's why they're starting to get smart around the country now, and we're starting to see sports gambling being approved all over the country and in different states. And eventually it'll get here. Why? Because, one, we've come to the realization that the players make so much money, you're not going to buy them anymore, okay? So the days of the Black Sox and all that stuff that happened back in the day, those days are done. Okay, that's just not going to be the case. So that, to me, that's where I would tell you that, that's what's changed here a lot. So when you tell me, hey, ratings might be down and attendance and all that, tell you take the gambling out of it, some of these sports would die. And some of the other sports would, like football won't die, but it would suffer a major setback. And let me tell you, like I just said, it's the teams on the periphery that would suffer the most. You know what I'm saying? It's the Milwaukee Brewers will have less interest in them. The Yankees will have the interest. They'll always have it. Brewers won't. Alabama football will always have their interest. FIU won't have any across the country. North Carolina A&T won't have any across the country. Bowling Green, whatever. Oregon State, they won't have any interest across the country. If it's not for gamblers, those are the people that probably keep all of those games alive and why people are watching them. Look, I'll be in Vegas in a couple months. When you go there for whether it's college basketball season, football season, baseball season, you name it, you're going to see people glued to tubes and watching all kinds of games that you wouldn't be watching as a sports fan. But as a sports investor, that's a whole different ballgame.
They say in Vegas the biggest day and time is when the tournament starts up.
Oh,
the
for
NCAA.
Sure.
It is a madhouse. It is their busiest time by far, hands down.
Yep. And that's what people in our government are now realizing. Okay, wait a minute. We can tax the hell out of weed, and it's not nearly as bad as alcohol. Let's do it. We can tax the hell out of gambling. I mean, it's still going on. It's going to go on either way. Let's make money off of it. That's what they're saying. People have been gambling illegally forever, so why not tax it? That's it.
Facts. Biggest industries, okay, gambling, drugs, consumption, porn. Huge. Those three in our country.
There you go. And Bill, straight porn. All right, 786-322-1105 is the accidentlawfirm.com text line. If you want to get in or give Bill any great porn sites, you can do it at 786-322-1105. So, Frankie, what we have a guest here? Who do we have? John Hernandez. Is John Hernandez ready to plunge his guts out? Pop up John's mic there. John, you ready to plunge your guts out?
Yeah, you bet. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Sunday for the big tournament.
Are you ready for the National Horse Players Championship? Look at this.
It's going to be a great event here
Look at this.
Champions.
Bill just...
And, you know, that's beautiful.
There you go, huh?
There is no
You're spoiled.
exciting simulcast venue in all of horse racing than Champions. I mean, you just heard it a couple of minutes ago. These guys get so excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to simulcast centers around the country, California, New York, Florida, my home state of Iowa. There's nothing like Champions in terms of excitement.
Well, I can say this. You can't, but us Hispanic people, we're loud as hell, man. So,
well, I'm one of you. I'm just the other kind of Hispanic. I'm the Mexican Hispanic from
well,
California.
There you go. There you go. So we got some passion that we bring behind it, and the boys are they definitely will let you have it, and that's the part I love about this, hanging out on this side. Over there, it's calm and cool at the poker room. When a table gets hot, then you'll start to hear some people rumbling and all that. But I love it here because the real passion is going on for those 90 seconds.
Yeah, you would think that they've got their life savings on every single race.
You know, for the folks, I'm glad that we got you here, John, because for the folks that want to take part in the National Horse Players Championship, and we've been talking about it here on the show for the last couple of weeks. People have seen it online. They've seen it all over the place. They're trying to inquire what it is. As a pro, walk them through what it is and why they have a shot at $5,000 in the top prize, $10,000 overall on Sunday.
Yes, so this is a qualifying tournament for the National Horse Players Championship that takes place every year in Las Vegas. There's one coming up in February. There'll be another one the next February. So people who play in the qualifier here at Hialeah Park, if they win it, they also earn a seat at the national event out in Las Vegas, and we're talking like $1 million in prize money for that thing. And so the idea is to do well here, earn a spot in the championship, get your $5,000 out of the $10,000 in prize money, then go on to Las Vegas and compete. You'll get room and board paid for. It's a great time out in Las Vegas, and you'll be against the big guns, and we're talking big, big money to win that one out in Las Vegas.
How much money is it out there in Vegas?
Well, somewhere near $1 million total.
Oh, that's
in
all?
prize money. Yeah, I mean, that's it. You know, I mean, you know.
That'll keep me in Vegas at least another 2 days.
You know what they say? They call these life-changing experiences. That could be one for somebody who goes out to Las Vegas and wins that. But start here at Hialeah Park, play here on Sunday. We've got 3 tracks that are going to be designated for competition: Gulfstream, Tampa Bay, Aqueduct up in New York. And so there are plenty of wagering opportunities. Idea is to parlay a $200 bankroll into the biggest total figure. So you've got to win some races. You've got to hit some bets. Probably not a good idea to be playing 3 to 5, 4 to 5, even 2 to 1 horses. You're looking at guys who feel out 8 and 10 to 1 horses, and those are the horses they play on a regular basis in these contests. And if they get 1 or 2, boy, that sets them on the way. Now they've got money to play with, and they really up the bankroll from there.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And is there a way for people to find out already about these races ahead of time so they can
Yes, past performances for those tracks are all available now, so you can find those at Equibase, Daily Racing Forum. We'll have programs here at Hialeah Park, but it's $300 entry fee, and you can sign up at hialeahpark.com. The entries are still being taken. Fill out the entry, pay your fee, or pay it here on the grounds at Hialeah Park on Sunday. But $300 for members of the National Horse Players Championship Tour, $325 if you want to get your membership, which you need to have if you want to go to Las Vegas.
Right, and by the way, first place is $5,000, second place $2,500, third place $1,500, fourth place $1,000, plus the winner gets a seat in the NHC in Las Vegas, February 7th through the 9th. this year, 2020, or if you already have plans, you can actually push it back to 2021, so it gives you that flexibility. Hotel and airfare is also included, but we will not include any trips with Lamar Odom to any bunny ranch. Okay, that you're on your own if you want to go with Lamar Odom to a bunny ranch. Have you been with Lamar Odom?
I have not been to a bunny ranch with Lamar.
No, okay.
No,
But you have been a bunny ranch.
No.
No, oh, okay, all right. I don't know, because you just mentioned Lamar. I just want to make sure. No,
No, I have not.
No, okay, all right. I can't bet on that either.
You can't bet on that either.
All right. I tried. All right, so John, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. How long you been doing this?
Well, I am a lifelong Californian who now lives in the state of Iowa, and I've been around.
Wait a minute, that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Well, no.
You're supposed to be living in Iowa, moving to California.
That's what happens when my parents get old and die, and my wife is from Iowa.
Ah.
You go where the wife is from. So we're in Iowa. I work at Prairie Meadows Racetrack in Des Moines, Iowa, during the regular season there, which is
watch the camera. With
about
okay.
I'd say 5 months.
Okay.
May, June, July, August, September, and then I do whatever comes my way. And one of the things that's come my way is to play in the NHC qualifier here at Hialeah Park and visit with my good friend Frank Fiore.
Nice.
And get another glimpse of champions. I was here for one entire quarter horse season back in the day, and then also came here many times representing the American Quarter Horse Association. So fond memories here at Hialeah Park. Enjoyed my time here. Enjoyed being on television for the quarter horse races. I do that up in Iowa for the thoroughbred and quarter horse races in Iowa, and just get around the country here and there at sports and horse racing events during the off season in Iowa.
All right, so John, what do you think about this weekend? First of all, San Francisco -7 against Minnesota. Over and under is 44.5.
Oh boy, I'm probably going to ride with the Vikings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even without Thielen.
Yeah.
Are you worried about that?
No.
Okay. So you're taking the points +7.
Yes.
All right. Baltimore -9.5. Over and under 47 against Tennessee.
Boy, I'm going to give the points. I'm going to take Baltimore.
Right?
Yep.
What are you counting on? Tannehill to choke and give the ball away?
Yes, exactly. I'm counting on the Tannehill of old.
Okay. Right. There you go. Kansas City -9.5. Over and under is 51 between Kansas City and Houston.
All right. I hate the Chiefs, so I'll put my money on Houston.
So you're going to take
even if I think Kansas City's going to win, I'm not going to ever bet a penny on them.
I actually love Houston in this bet.
Okay.
Love it.
Then
because
we're on the same page.
Because my boy, I'm forgetting now what's the quarterback's name?
Watson.
That kid is money.
Okay.
He's money. He's clutch.
I hope you're right.
I don't think Houston gets beat by 10 points. That's the thing. It's either he wins the game or they lose a tight game.
Okay.
Because that kid is clutch.
I'm with you.
And then Green Bay is favored by 4.5 against Seattle. Where are you going there?
Green Bay.
Green Bay?
Yes.
All right. I like it. All right. Good stuff. All right, John. Thank you for coming by. I will see you on Sunday.
Yeah.
But on Sunday, you're not going to really share any information with me, right?
Well, after the fact, yes. After the fact, yes.
After, okay.
You know how horse players are.
Right,
we always have the winner after the fact.
Right,
we don't
right.
talk about it when we don't.
Oh, okay. All right. I got. How many times have you been to this championship, to this competition?
Well, this will actually be the first one that I've competed in, and I've witnessed quite a number of them.
Okay.
Haven't been to the Nationals yet, and looking forward to that possibility.
Okay, so the only way is you got to win a seat in order to get into the Nationals.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I mean, you could go and watch, but what fun would that be?
No, I know,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, that would be my life, just watching. But the good thing is we're not losing any money, right?
Well, that's true.
Right, and not having any fun either along the way. Because that's what we do here every Friday. We have some fun. You got any tips for me, by the way, this afternoon? Have you seen anything on Aqueduct or at Tampa Bay Downs or Laurel Park?
Well, I haven't.
Gulfstream.
I'm just starting to get into the Gulfstream mode now.
Okay.
My good friend Peter
I'm
Aiello
here to-
is the
I'm
caller
here-
over there.
I'm
so
here
I'll see
for
what I can
another
come up
2.5 hours.
Okay.
So
I'll
you
come
got
up with
any?
something.
You got any tips for me? I need some.
Okay.
All right.
I'll come up with one at least.
Okay. All right, John. Nice to meet you. Thank you
to
for
meet
taking
you.
some time. Good
Yep.
luck on Sunday.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it. Good stuff there. John Hernandez, as always, appreciate it. Thank you, Frank. As always, we are out here at Hialeah Park, baby. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. When we come back, Andre Fernandez from The Athletic will join us right here on the Big O Show. All righty, welcome back. Coming to you live, baby, from Hialeah Park. We'll be out here till 4 o'clock. We got a loaded show for you. Andre Fernandez is going to join us now. Bill will get him on in a second here. We'll talk a little Heat basketball. Heat getting ready for the Nets. The second toughest game in this road trip. And they got a big win 2 nights ago with the Pacers. So we'll see what they do tonight against the Nets. Got an opportunity to go 2 games above 500 on the road and start to improve that record, something that Spo has been wanting, and he got a little bit of what he wanted in the last game. So we'll talk to Andre Fernandez here, and we'll have a little fun with him as he covers the Heat for The Athletic. So we'll get into a little Heat talk now. If you want to follow... by the way, if you want to follow Andre Fernandez on Twitter, it's really easy. You know how you do it? It's Fernandez Andre C. You can catch his work at The Athletic MIA or Athletic MBA too. And, of course, follow him on Twitter there, as always, and kind enough to join us now on the program. Andre, how you doing, my brother? What'd you have for lunch?
I decided to get away from the junk food for at least one meal. You know, found a little salad place over here. I know it's not very New York, but there's going to be plenty this weekend in Brooklyn for me. You know, maybe I have to go grab a pizza as usual. I have to get something a lot more, you know, New York City, Manhattan-ish.
Well, wait a minute, dude. Okay, I got to tell you. You know Junior's?
Okay.
You know the restaurant Junior's?
I haven't been there.
Okay, it's orange and white. It's like an institution. All right, we had one here in Boca, but they closed it down. But the originals are up there in New York. The one in Brooklyn, right by the Barclays Center. I got to ask you first. Their food is awesome, but do you like cornbread?
Yeah.
The greatest.
I would.
The greatest cornbread you've ever had in your life is there at Junior's. Okay.
I mean, you probably picked my dinner spot after tonight's game if they're still open.
Oh no! Yeah. Oh, dude, Junior's is open. I think it's 24 hours actually.
Oh, okay. Then,
yeah.
We're good.
It's a late night. It's a great place to go late night and everything and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, they make great food, meatloaf, whatever you want. They're great food. But dude, the cornbread there, and that's the only one that has the cornbread. You go to the other Juniors and they don't have it. I was so pissed.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, because I went to the other one in the city in Manhattan, but close to Manhattan, and I ordered my food, and then I said, I want cornbread, and they go, oh, we don't have that. The Brooklyn one is the only one that has it, and I was like, no, you got to be kidding me. And I actually took the subway to Brooklyn while I was there that week just to go eat at Junior's again for that cornbread, bro. I'm telling you.
Got to check it out, man. Appreciate the recommend.
Yes, yes. And it's like one of those great American diners, Junior's. So,
sounds like it.
Yeah. You're going to love it. It's a killer place. Yep. Cool. I thought it was big in this sense the other night against the Pacers. You know, when the coach challenges you, you could maybe, not take on the challenge, not respond. This team was 9-9 going into that game. And they responded in a big-time way, and I thought that was personally a good moment for Spo because, yeah, he had coached a lot of these guys, but he also has a lot of new guys, young guys, and different guys there, and so you never know how that mix is going to turn out, and I think it shows that Spo has a good connection with these guys that he can push their buttons.
Yeah, it shows he's got the pulse of the team right now very well. In those terms, and like I said, there's a lot of new pieces this year, and I think it's just something he's going to have to continually, keep his hand on that pulse throughout the rest of the season because we know it's only going to get tougher. There are only going to be more challenges, night in and night out, whether it's on the road or at home. things are going to get dicier when we get into the nitty gritty in March and later in April. When this team is, looking like it's going to be battling for one of those top spots in the East. And these guys are going to be tested in many cases for the first time in their careers. And he's going to have to really be aware of that, especially in a game where, you're coming off a loss. We know they have responded really well this year coming off losses. They haven't lost back-to-back games as far as they've ever been into a season without a losing streak. And that's amazing considering the youth on this team right now. I mean, this deep into the season, we're now getting to the halfway point, and this team's been really resilient. And, even at some point, everybody's saying, oh, yeah, maybe they'll hit a rough patch. They have played some teams shorthanded like the other night. But credit to the way they've been able to take care of business for the most part. And yeah, they have to, that's something that's going to be really important for this coaching staff to continue to have a good grip on.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, the other day, the whole incident with TJ and with Jimmy, I didn't hear a lot of people talk about this. I don't think it was such a good moment for Jimmy. I think he got baited, bro. He got baited. He got lucky that TJ then followed after, but TJ was succeeding. He got him frustrated, and he got him to put the shoulder into him, which then became a turnover and a tech. So you would have gotten the shot and the ball, and if you just stay that way, you were already in his head. And I gotta say, after with the kisses and all that kind of masked what really happened in that moment. And I think it's something that maybe Spo has to have a conversation with Jimmy down the line, like, hey, I get that this ended up working out for us at this moment, but you kind of failed in this moment, and you let him get the best of you. You let him get in your head. You can say whatever you want, but he got in your head, and he forced you to turn over the ball and the tech. I think that's really what I would be more concerned about than anything else, instead of just riding the fluff part of it with the kisses and the ejection.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the scene is always something that's going to attract a lot of attention. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting down the road if teams, other players, especially other players that aren't afraid to pinch other guys, like that, and really try to incite that sort of a reaction. We know guys in the NBA, there's a lot of them that like to talk on Twitter, that like to then carry that a little bit onto the court. Those really one-on-one battles that we don't hear because we don't hear what's being said on those little battles on the court. But it does tend to happen, and that's something where he's going to have to balance that. He's going to have to balance those emotions. He's going to have to, because right now, we're still early in the season, but in a playoff game, you don't want to. Even then. He was fortunate. You don't want to have a referee decide to eject him there, especially when you get later in the year in a playoff game, something like that. That's a crippling loss to a team like this at that point. Say he were to get suspended or something like that, if it were to escalate more. So it's definitely something interesting to continue to follow, and as the season goes on with him, how he keeps that in balance.
Andre, I don't know if you wrote about it. If you did, I apologize if I missed it. Do we know finally what the hell TJ Warren said to him that he was all mad about, that men shouldn't say, or whatever it was, however he phrased it? Because apparently TJ Warren said something really nasty to him. Do we know what it was?
I mean, the Warren yesterday at practice with the Pacers, all he pretty much said was he claims he said he doesn't even really remember what started it. He acted kind of like, I was moving on from this, but that he wouldn't back down, and he never backs down in a case like that. So nothing specific other than what we obviously saw and red lips and saw what was obvious on camera the other day and what emerged on social media. But I mean again, I think it's kind of interesting to see where this goes next, because you've got Jimmy Butler circling the next game in March on the calendar and saying stuff like that. Today in practice, he was asked if he had heard from the league office about a fine, and he didn't even want to go into that. He kind of just said, I'm moving forward, the incidents in the past and whatnot. I don't know, is it? I mean, if they play again, obviously that's going to be interesting to see, and then if TJ Warren is right on him, tense things happen when those those battles.
Yeah, and don't tell me it's in the past when you've already circled the future.
Right. Exactly.
That don't fly, dude. Don't tell me it's in the past when it's on your mind. Don't tell me that he didn't get in your head, because he did get in your head. He got you frustrated. Right. You know what I mean? So that to me, I just wonder if Spo is looking at it like that, because that's what I saw above all the fluff crap that went on after that. Yeah, all that stuff is fun and it's great for entertainment purposes. But on the other side, I thought, this is something that, he better check himself, because you just mentioned it. Somebody down the line sees that and says, hey, I can get in Jimmy's head, and I can mess with him a little bit. And maybe if I get him out, I really weaken that team.
How many times do we see those players all the time, man? Like Joel Embiid is always trying to pinch a guy, saying stuff on Twitter or even on the court. And, remember the back and forth with him and Hassan, the list goes on and on. You have examples of that where guys, everyone in the league watches everybody, and everybody sees the tendencies, and everyone's going to try and use something to their advantage. So.
Andre Fernandez, by the way, joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Fernandez Andre C, covering the Miami Heat for The Athletic. Make sure you follow his coverage also at The Athletic MIA. Andre, the other thing that I saw in this game, and it's not about the game, but just the people in it and the atmosphere and the team play. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, so Olynyk's not playing much now, because this guy's short in the rotation, but he's not pointing fingers, not bitching, not complaining. Winslow comes back from an injury. You would think, okay, well, I was a major player on the team. Well, now he's not. Now he's going to have 12 to 15 minutes. That's what coach says. They'll probably keep it in that area, not complaining, not pointing fingers, not doing any of that. You name it. I could go on and give examples of all the different guys that have just, bought into what's going on, their team. They make the extra pass for each other. And here's Dion Waiters. And Dion Waiters, all he's done is bitch, complain, get suspended. And you think about what if, because as potent as that bench is, now, especially when Goran's healthy and going, that's one of the better benches in the NBA. If this guy wasn't such a moron and he would buy into all of this and have the same attitude that everybody has on this team, whether they're playing or they're not playing, or they're playing part-time or whatever it is, it really is amazing that he doesn't get it, Andre. And that's the weird part, that it's just so strange that everybody else on the team gets it and is a part of it and embraces it and supports each other, and there's the one dude that's dragging ass.
Yeah, it's very interesting to observe. I mean, I started covering the team again the last month or so, so that's the only time I've been really able to get really up close to watch these guys, in practice and in games, in the locker room and all that. And it's like he's a ghost. I mean, he interacts with guys. Guys, it's not, he's over there in the corner. He doesn't talk to any of his teammates. He's involved in practice, but in the important sense, you wonder, is there ever going to be some move back toward where he is a part of something that impacts the team, tangibly, like in a game, whether it's playing something. And so far we've seen, he still hasn't obviously gotten into a game, but like you said, I mean, if there was a limited sort of contribution or something where there's a happy in between where he could come in. I mean, he does have enough of a skill set to maybe, chip in some way, like you're talking about. But they're at that point, and good question. I don't know. I don't know how that gets.
I think it's
in the
fascinating.
In the short term.
Yeah, but I find it fascinating because there are countless examples already through the first half of the season of guys that have been up and down, injured, healthy, playing, not playing, gaining more playing time, less playing time. Nobody bitches, nobody complains, nobody points fingers. This is probably the most selfless team I have seen for the Miami Heat in a long, long, long time. It
Yeah,
really,
Kelly. Yeah, Kelly was a good example right there because the last few. It's been a while now. I think last maybe 10 games or so. He really has not played much. And even the other night, I mean, Spo said it was the whole matchup against Portland, but still, some games it'll fit, some games it won't. But he was always someone that would at least come in, play you 20, 25 minutes, let's say, in different spots. But he's been kind of, put on the back burner. We know how James Johnson, till the other day, hadn't even played in over a month. I mean.
But he doesn't complain.
It's interesting.
But he doesn't complain. He doesn't point fingers.
Right on. Look what
nothing.
he did. He comes in. Right. He comes in and impacts the game. Hits threes. Distributes the ball. I mean, again, yeah, it just shows you that it's remarkable through half a season almost where we're at how the role playing has really fit in and really worked well.
That's a guy that got suspended too, not just lost play. This guy he could have been pissed or whatever, and he got suspended.
Right.
Hell, I heard him the other day in an interview say, this franchise gives you everything you need in order to succeed as a player. And I'm like,
Right.
Here's a dude who loses playing time, gets suspended, all of that, but he's probably smart enough to know, dude, I'm getting paid really, really well. These people have taken care of me. Let me do my part. It's like, I hate to say it in Spanish. But James Johnson es un tipo decente, and, Dion Waiters es un mojón. It's just like
I was going to say, it's a different mentality.
Yeah.
Individually. It's a different mentality.
Yeah, it's just like, it's terrible, bro. It's just like there's a huge difference between the two, and it's just like, and no part of you takes a step back to kind of look at yourself and look at everybody else and say, holy crap, dude, I'm so completely different than everybody else. Let me conform. Let me, nothing, bro. Nothing. I don't hear anything. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yep.
It really is. Hey, by the way, do you realize this, okay? This team and that coach is 4 wins away from going 31-10 with 2 different teams.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I trust me. I look at that record and I'm like, this is the other year on the flip side, where it's starting great, and we're almost at that halfway point, and the record's looking pretty similar to what the second half looked like on that team that that didn't end up being the success was a little more of an illusion back then.
Right.
So.
Right. And again, going back to the aforementioned Dion Waiters, does he notice that also, by the way? Just, because he thought that Spo couldn't coach, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's shown it. I mean, even now, I mean, he's in that, whether he wants it or not, he's in that mix to potentially be in the All-Star game,
Yeah.
If they stay in that second spot.
Andre, when you walk into that locker room, talk to us a little bit about the confidence that they carry themselves with, because they don't lose back-to-back games. They and Milwaukee, I think, are the only 2 teams in the NBA that haven't had back-to-back losses. They have shown, I talked about this today, they have shown an incredible amount of maturity for a team that has new pieces, young pieces, to go along with a couple of veterans. It's a kind of team that could be very volatile. It's a kind of team that maybe shouldn't be as mentally strong, shouldn't be as consistent because they haven't been together, and they have a lot of inexperience. There's a lot of ingredients that really say you shouldn't be 27-10. Why? Explain. What do you see?
Well, I see, and without sounding too cliche, I just see cohesiveness. I won't get too cliche with some of the other stuff about how they like each other and all that, which they do, and it seems like they get along for the most part well. But I think more importantly, it's the cohesiveness. And I say that, not just the cohesiveness on the court, I think in just every little thing, everything in the background, practice, like for the most part, at least outwardly, you see everything working. Guys have to be maybe, told, how, all the little things that need to be done, all the little, professional routines that need to be followed, and that's, and again, like that we said before, that's remarkable for a team this young, for the, with having more than half their roster, with younger, only a few years or less in the NBA type of guys. And I think that's a testament to them. There's always, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm sure, behind the scenes, every once in a while, guys are still learning. There's little mistakes made. There's little things that will be corrected, of course. But in general, you go in there and you don't get the sense. You get the sense of like they're all in it together. They all echo each other's comments about how supportive they want this to work, how much they want everybody to be a contributing part of it. Whether you have major names like Jimmy Butler, or you're a guy starting out, or you're the 10th, 11th guy on the bench. They all want to make it work.
I'm with you there. They're an exciting race here down the stretch. People were screaming their lungs out. Andre, one more thing before I let you go. Did Spo pull a piece of Riley by challenging his team about the 500? Why do I say that? He knew this was a 3-game road trip. He knew his team was 9-9. He knows his team is better than the Nets and the Knicks. But he knew the challenge would be the Pacers. So he gets on their asses. He gets under their craw. He tells them they're not doing good enough. They go out there, they play lights out, and they beat Indiana. They feel good about themselves. And then they also know, they're smart enough to know, all right, dude, we can't go beat Indiana and lose to the Nets and the Knicks. We got to beat these teams if we're going to beat Indiana, because then there's a little self-motivation to it that kind of lifts you. Like, all right, let's end this road trip on a positive. We're going to play 2 lesser teams. And then he doesn't have to send them that message, but he wanted to maybe give them a little extra push for the Pacers. Yeah. Very Riley-like in playing with the mind.
The student, again, of Pat, and it comes through once again. And, yeah, like you said, they have had letdowns against, lesser teams, after, especially coming off big wins, so that's another thing. So he's thinking they get this Pacers win, and then hopefully there's no slip up the next 2. But if they come away at least 2 out of 3 out of it, let's say, just strictly looking at the numbers. But that's why I think tonight's going to be key, because Brooklyn's right on that fringe of the playoffs. They're struggling right now. They lost 7 in a row. They're still shorthanded in terms of the roster. So, again, it's a vulnerable team, and we have seen this team have a couple hiccups against seemingly vulnerable teams before, like the Wizards. And, so it's important. It's important to keep that, that finger on the pulse, finger on the button, and keep pushing this team to not have these slip-ups and not have letdowns. And again, let's see what else they can come up with little by little as it goes forward.
Although, I'm not holding that Wizards. Bro, they got 800 points off the bench, bro. Who the hell gets 800 points off the bench, bro? That was such a flukish game. That was the flukish game.
Yeah, if only the Wizards could play defense, then what a dangerous team they'd be.
Yes. Yeah, because I got to tell you, they have options. Like, there are guys that can score on that team. They do have some guys that can score. Even with their injuries right now, and Wall being out for most of I think he's out for the whole year. Beal's actually missed a significant amount. But all these other guys that they have, they got some other guys, Brown and Bertrands and these kind of cats that can Wagner and all that. They've got guys that can score, and they're not that bad actually.
No, I think it was the second best scoring team in the East, or something like that, or overall, I think something like that. But then you look at their defense; they're allowing the most points in the NBA. So there you go.
Follow him on Twitter, man. He knows how to get it done. Fernandez, Andre C. More importantly, catch his work there at the Athletic MIA, Athletic MBA too. Andre, enjoy the game, and of course, enjoy the corn.
That's right.
Corn cake, or what is it?
Cornbread.
Cornbread. I'm sorry, cornbread. That's right.
He's trying to sell you on something you can't even pronounce.
I know, idiot.
Get me some of that cornbread and juniors. Even more important.
Oh, dude, save me, bro. Bring me some. That would be amazing.
I'll see if I can get you some on the plane.
Ship me some, dude. That would be amazing. All right, Andre, you're the best, baby. You be good out there. Take it easy.
You too. Take care.
All right, Andre Fernandez, man. Good man. Good reporter, getting it done, covering the Miami Heat for the Athletic. Seriously, he pulled a little Riley. That was Riley. That's a Riley ass move right there that Spo pulled on him.
You know who's the happiest guy in town? Well, he's not in town right now. Andre, getting moved from the Marlins to the Heat beat.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, there's an extra pep in his step.
I know.
His wife notices this smile, like, wipe that smile off your face.
Yeah.
You're always smiling now.
Yeah, but I feel bad for Andre because he likes baseball. But you know what's got to be tough, Bill? The toughest thing to do in this business, and I don't care what you're doing, you're covering a sport nobody cares about. You write all that stuff every day. Very few people are reading it.
Your heart's in it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know all these guys, Clark Spencer, you name it, any of these guys that are on the Marlins beat over the years, they've worked their asses off on that beat, coming up with all kinds of stories. And, it's like nobody cares. Nobody reads it. I'll admit, I don't read a lot of them. I don't have a lot of interest in the Marlins. I follow it, but casually. I don't follow it so, I watch the games. But am I reading every story? No. Am I reading every story of the Dolphins and the Heat? Yeah. Yeah. I read all the Panther stories too. But the Marlins, it's like, you're not trying. Why am I supposed to try? You know what I mean? Not the writer, the team. And so I got to tell you, that's tough. It's tough. I see it even with electronic people. The other day I was doing an appearance with Minervini. And, Minervini's passionate about the baseball team and the hockey team and all that. But, I was brutally honest about the baseball team. It is what it is. But the person that covers the baseball team or works for the baseball team, they have a different agenda. They want people to care about what they're covering. And then the other person that works for the team, they want you to care about the team that's paying them their salary. It's got to be tough. I got to tell you. I did, like when I covered baseball, it was 97. So people cared because it was a World Series year. And then I covered half of 98. That's when they finally took me off and kept me permanently on Dolphins and Heat after that. And let me tell you something, I was the happiest man in the world. Obviously, football's my sport. That goes without saying. But I love baseball. I got no problem with baseball. I love it. But it's not, I don't have the love for baseball that I had when I was a kid. And I don't love baseball nearly as much as I love football and basketball. That's just the facts. Can't do anything about it. It is what it is. I'd love to be more interested in the sport, but I can't. They don't do their part.
That's ownership, man.
And locally, they do nothing. No, I mean, nationally, it's a pain in the ass. Locally, it's disgusting. So, I mean, what are you going to do? But it's just one of those situations that I feel bad for the media folks that have to work in that environment.
Before we take a break, just to give you some info. Okay?
Yes.
Since Washington beat us, they have played 500 ball. They're 3-3 and no slouches. They beat us, the Celtics, and the Denver Nuggets.
They can score.
Okay?
No, they can score.
Got a little something going on with that group.
Score.
Okay,
they can score. They can't defend, but they can score.
We obviously that win they put it in their pocket. Had a little nugget and. To beat Denver and Celtics, no slouches, man.
I know, but our game, dude, they got 84 points off the bench.
They were out of their
84 points off a bench, bro. Come on. That just doesn't happen. 84 points off the bench. You'd be lucky to get 84 points from your starters. Okay?
Yeah. And,
you get 84
like the big
points
three,
from
the
your
big three. The big three getting 84 points.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But, I mean, just any starters overall would be fortunate to score 84 points. You know what it is to get it from your bench? Come on, man.
We need to get moving here.
All right, let's tell you about Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. They are an amazing dealership, and right now, folks, they got it going on. The ILX 2020 models, 209, TLX 239, RDX 339, MDX 349, only $29.99 to it signing, plus tax tag and registration, folks. Hey, tell them that Big O sent you. I promise you they're going to take care of you at the finest dealership in the business. It is at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Tell them that we sent you. It's Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. When we come back, we're going to talk to Calvin Watkins, my buddy, who works for the Dallas Morning News. He covers something a lot of people care about. That's the Cowboys. They choke a lot, but they care about them. We'll talk to Calvin next.